welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Piff Posh, and today obviously I feel a little bit better, but today I had a few experiences today, and one of them was at the post office this morning, and it's also moving me to make this video. Girl talk. Hello. And guys, if you're watching, it's okay, you guys can watch too. But this is like basically a life experience that I've went through, and I've been contemplating like to make a video about this because it's just like, oh my God, like I don't know, it's just like, I guess because I'm healing from it, I'm able to talk about it now, but in the moment it was just very traumatizing, and it was also like a growth sprout as far as experiences and just in life. So it's been months. It has been months, and let's see, how do we get into this? Let's start by some of the people who has followed me. Sorry, you will be seeing this glass. I'm kind of raspy. And in November, I went on a cruise. I actually went to Miami first and then went on a cruise, and like the second or third day into the cruise, the second or third day I got on the cruise, I actually got pulled into an office that I never even knew that they had. And basically I was being told that I was being arrested. Now, don't get the wrong idea. I ain't do nothing crazy. I'm not that type of person. I am totally like full of life, about the good things. And I got locked up. Yeah, I did. I got locked up. And I did 8 days in jail. 8 days. 8 days. I'm not gonna go into detail about what it was for. It was like, again, it wasn't that serious, but basically I had something on my record, like a warrant saying that I didn't show up to court. I did. I could have sworn I did, but I probably missed one. I forgot about it. And I've basically been walking around and thinking I'm good, and I wasn't. And basically this was for a parking ticket as well, so there's a couple parking traffic light tickets or whatever. So pay your parking tickets and pay them traffic light tickets. Please don't play. Please don't play. Learn from me. Anyway, so I did 8 days in jail. I was in Florida, Key West, and child, it was just very different. Very, very different. I will say that, the people in there, they wasn't that bad, but you do meet people from different places and things that you hear about their life stories. And it's just, it was very like, wow, very wow. I still don't have any words to describe it. But while in there, it made me reflect. It was like a forced reflect, that I had to do, because, when you're somewhere where you don't have any control, you think of all the things that, you could have, would have, should have done, and you can't do it at that point or in that moment because, you're someplace where, you just can't control. So basically what I did in there, every day I read books, and I wrote every single day. Every single day. I even got a letter that I wrote to my family. I'm not going to show y'all the whole letter, but I'll show you my ID and the date. Okay? So it's real. It was definitely real. I'm just so thankful that, shout out to my child's father and my best friend for like holding me down and, you know, I was able to continue my vacation, luckily enough, because I went to Atlanta after. And I was able to get out the day before Thanksgiving. That was such a freaking blessing. Like, it was really a blessing. I was just celebrating birthdays. And I thought, you know, I had to stay in there for a couple, you know, holidays for something that, or a place that I never been before. And then, boom, I get hit with that. So moving along with that, you know, coming out, it was like a shock because, you know, you've been away from the outside world for so long. You know, it's like you have to get adjusted again to the, you know, the freedom or whatever, however you say it or whatever. But I think I just snapped right back into it because my family was there, my daughter was there, you know, my whole family was there. And so it really helped me, or that time being around my family members really healed me around that time. I wasn't scared, I wasn't nervous. I just really wanted to know, like, you know, how does this get done? But, you know, that's one of my experiences that I'm still healing from right now because, like I said before in my other video, my first video, I was putting so much pressure on myself to do a lot of things. And honestly, you know, being in there and thinking, I was able to think out a lot of things that I wanted to do and just actually pace myself rather than rushing myself like I'm doing now. I'm just going with the flow, you know. That was a big experience that helps me to adjust my day-to-day basis of how I do things every day. Like, I know people know Wallow 267. Can't believe I even remember that. But Wallow 267, he has done time in jail as well, but he did 20 years. And I just love his soul because his soul is so pure. And he really just epitomized how I felt when I got out of jail. Like, yo, I'm taking everything they told me I couldn't get. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just one of those moments. It was so real. Like, I was just like, yo, really? You know, I really need to just get my shit together. And it wasn't like just that. Of course, I handled that. You know, we're fine with that now because I handled what I, you know, didn't handle before. And it also taught me a lesson to always check up on that. You know, everyone should check up on, you know, their records if they have anything, just in case, because you never know when things may arise. You may have to do a force travel or future travel or family friends travel. You don't want anything to happen in between then, especially spending so much money. So that is my story time. Like, that is my story time. I'm speaking about it because it may be a lot of people out there that has happened to, and it, like, you're maybe, you know, kind of reluctant to talk about it because you feel like you're gonna get judged for going to jail. Like, you know, I don't care about the judgment. You know, I spoke to someone at the at the post office, and she helped me to understand, like, there's so many other people that's going through that or possibly going through it, you know what I mean? And it's a hard thing sometimes to adjust to when you're back into society. So that is my story time, and that's also why right now I'm going so hard with just myself. I'm stepping on my own neck at this point. You know, I don't see any competition as far as like competing with other people, because being in there, it showed me that we're all striving for the same thing. You know, you want to be successful, you want to be happy, you want to be with your family, but everyone's path is different going to that road of success, you know. So for me, that's what that was. And it just really helped me to understand that judging people is like the most like obsolete thing that you shouldn't do. It's very hard to do, but you know, sometimes when you think a little bit deeper, you start to realize why people do the things that they do. Maybe because something happened to them, maybe because something is traumatizing to them, you know, maybe something that keeps, you know, popping up in their minds that makes them feel a certain type of way, or bringing old feelings that they try to get over before, you know. So, you know, that definitely helped me to look at things different, people different, you know, get a lot of clarity on, you know, the experiences of life and people. So, okay, so we did the story time. Let's get into the girl talk. So girl talk is basically me just talking about my own experiences, and maybe you're going through it yourself, or some of the things that I've been experiencing, and I just need to just let that out. So basically, if you are failing at something, don't feel bad about it because that happens. And like I mentioned before, I went to jail for 8 days, you know, and that was one of my biggest things that I had to overcome in 2019 because I was like, oh my God, like, I can't believe I did some time there, you know what I mean? But I didn't let it hold me back and allowed it to overcome me like that's where I belong, that's where I'm supposed to be. No, I actually kept pushing and actually came out stronger. Um, but the girl talk mostly to me right now is about, you know, if you're feeling at something, don't give up, but take a step back. You know, also feeling is part of building your character. It's building you for all the trials and tribulations that's gonna come soon. And it's so easy to just sometimes like give up, but if you give up, then you're gonna start feeling bad and thinking about it on your mind constantly, 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 constantly. So it's just like, oh my God, like keep pushing, you know, seriously. That being said, like never think that you're weak and like you're a person that is not deserving of whatever it is that you're like desiring after. And when I mean desiring, I mean desiring for success, going to school, going, you know, getting that job, moving up, you know, getting that salary pay, whatever it is, opening up a business, you know, all those things come into play. It's not easy, but you know, that's something that you just really have to push forward and just really push yourself to be like, you know what, I got this. You know, I'm gonna take my time. I'm reanalyze myself and just really self-reflect. Self-reflection is very important. I'm looking down at my notes. If you see me looking down, that's why. And again, like if you see people like, you know, other people like moving forward and you feel like, damn, like everybody's moving up and me, like don't do that because you can shorten your blessings like that. You don't know what the person's been through for them to get that. You don't know who's helping them. You don't know whose support they has. You don't know if someone else doesn't have support for mad years and then finally they get the support so they get that push. You know, so it's everyone is walking in their own path even though we're going and striving for the same thing. Again, let me make this disclaimer. I'm not talking at anyone. I'm sharing my thoughts with you, and I'm also talking about myself because sometimes I go through things too. And I like to express it this way because maybe someone else is going through something that they're not sure of on how to take it or how to, you know, change or, you know, make a difference in their lives. So I'm sharing this with you guys. This is also therapeutic for me, so that's why I'm here sharing this. Like honestly, let's get down to the nitty and gritty. Like, what the fuck? Like, playtime is over, okay? Tell that to yourself. I'm telling myself that. Playtime is over. It is 2020. If you getting that job, get that job. You trying to go to school, go to school. You trying to get that money, get the money. If you trying to get that business, get that business. You know, I'm working towards my thing as well, and it's sometimes so hard because like the patience is just like, ugh. When you born in New York City, that patience is like, let's go, I need that now. But in real life, it doesn't happen like that because reality, it takes a different course of how things are given and how you get things sometimes. So like one of my faults I would say is like I'm impatient sometimes. I could really, really be impatient. So I'm working on that with myself so that I can also strive and get what I need to get as well. But also, like, speak well of other people, speak well of yourself. Don't talk down on yourself because then you're allowing other people to speak down on you as well. Set your boundaries. Set your boundaries. Boundaries will always have respect. Set your boundaries. And I set my boundaries with people, with things, my personal things. I set boundaries for everything and everyone. And the reason why I set boundaries is because it's like you don't want to go home and say, man, I should have said something, or I should have spoke up, or I could have, I should have. Say that right then and there. You know, I'm not the type of person to hold on to things. I let it all out because that's just how I am. You know, I can't sit on something and go to sleep and feel good. No, I'm not. I need to say that so that I can sleep good at night. Some people work opposite. But, you know, if you like me, just say it. But just try to say it in a very respectful way so that there's no tension. Caring for yourself. Caring for yourself is just definitely number one or priority, basically, because no one could take care of you better than you. No one could understand how you feel better than yourself. No one could, you know, explain or really get down to the nitty and gritty about how you feel about certain things or, you know, things that you want to do in the future, whatever the case may be. So taking care of yourself is very important, ladies. Like, The mental should be first. The body should be second. And then your spirituality should be second, honestly. But spirituality third. You know, and that doesn't have anything to do with religion. It's just your conscience. You know what I mean? You want to have that. And it's very, very imperative. Like, very imperative. You know, there's no other way that I can stress it. You see, like, it doesn't have to be material things, but, you know, according to society and what the world is focused on, which is money, you know, I'm not going to say money doesn't bring happiness, but it doesn't bring that much happiness, because obviously some of the rich people who's out there, they kill themselves all the time. And they have a lot of money, tons of money. So sometimes money is not always the answer. It's just really reflecting on yourself and really looking at your internal self and really analyzing who you are, who you want to be. I'm sorry, y'all. My camera is turning because I guess my phone is so heavy, but whatever. You'll be seeing me adjust it every now and then. But the next thing that I wanted to do is not to put pressure on ourselves. I'm trying not to put pressure on myself because I put a lot of pressure on myself. Sometimes in the past, I've self-sabotaged myself so many times. And I'm honestly taking my time to really think and not like feel pressure to do certain things. And it's like, has nothing to do with social media, just in life. You know, there's certain things that you want to have in order, but do you? Like, do you? What that credit score look like? You got open line of credit? Can you buy a house right now? Can you cop a car right now? And these are material things, but it's just having the freedom to do it. You understand what I'm saying? It's not about just having it. Can you get access to it? What is your access level like? You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is for me. Like, access level, you know, are you a liability or are you an asset? Like, let's think. Let's look a little bit deeper, people. What is it that you bring to the table? I'm building right now so that I can have something, a stake on the table to, you know, solidify who I am. Oh, that's why you're not all the way in. So it's like, honestly, like, you know, what is your assets like? Like, what are you surrounding? You know, who are you around? What are you around? What are you accepting? What are you, you know, talking about constantly? What are you constantly talking about? What are you, you know, allowing yourself to be around? You know, so all of that comes into, you know, what it is that, into who you are. And that's why for myself, I'm challenging myself to just do a whole lifestyle change. Like, I'm just trying to change my whole lifestyle. And it's not like, oh, I'm changing anything major, but it's just more acceptance of, you know, getting older, making better decisions, making a cognate, well put decision that's thought about, you know, not being sporadic, not being, you know, all over the place, not, you know, emotionally being all over the place. It's honestly just keeping yourself together. That's very, very important, keeping yourself together. Also, just stop playing with yourself, because I think I said everything on here. But stop playing with yourself, and I'm trying to stop playing with myself right now, you know, as we speak. That's why I'm making these videos, because this is motivation for me as well, so that, you know, I could feel good about myself. Posting on Instagram doesn't make me feel good. I'm gonna tell you right now, it does not make me feel good. And I'm gonna tell you why. It doesn't make me feel good because it's like a make-believe status. You know what I mean? You see people, you see all these likes, and you're like, damn, you look like a bum. You know, I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but I'm just saying, like, for real, I wish I could get paid per like. Then I'll probably go hard like some of these people out here. I really wish I could get paid. That's why before I wasn't putting up no pictures. I'm like, man, I ain't getting paid for this. I got rent to pay. Hello? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it was just some things like that. But I'm doing it now because it's just, it is good to be social and, you know, meet people. You know, you might meet someone that you may be able to work with later on down in the line. I'm praying for that. And I'm just putting it in the air that I get all my blessings. You know, anyone that's stopping you or try to stop you through behavior to try to stop you to get your blessings or react out of your character, pray for them. Pray for them. I'll be praying for them People try me all the time. I got tried today, and I failed because I gave a reaction. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna let that stop me or hold me back into being the person that I want to be. It's not gonna stop me from doing what it is that I want to do for me. You know what I mean? So it's a challenging thing, you know. But I'm just gonna say this: never let anyone else put how they feel on you. Don't take in that energy. Learn how to stop the energy. Learn how to get away from that energy. Learn how to just be like, listen, straight up to the person. I don't like your energy right now. I can't be around you. I can't afford being around you right now. That's what I've been doing. You know, I honestly have been doing that. Like, basically, I'm just gonna hold it. But, you know, like really sitting there and telling people, like, you know, I can't afford that, because what I'm trying to do with myself, it's not like they're gonna break you down, but you have to rebuild yourself all over again. And rebuilding yourself sometimes take a long time. It takes years. Not just for women, for men too. Men go through a lot of things as well, you know. But I'm really speaking for the women because I'm a woman myself, and I know the challenges that it takes to be a mom, and also just being a black woman. So, you know, you really have to really think about some of the things that goes on, you know, what people try to do. And, you know, I've experienced things where, you know, someone's insecure, and because they're insecure, they want you to feel insecure too. And it's just like, no, I can't feel like that, baby. Like, I can't take that energy. I'm sorry, I can't ingest that, because that's gonna mess up what it is that I've worked so hard to be, or who I worked so hard to be. Like, I can't do that. You know, if someone is being like provoking you to get a reaction, you know, that's one of the hardest things for me, because I'm always giving a reaction. Like, I'm always saying something, my mouth always going. But I failed today. Like I said earlier, I failed. I gave a reaction, and I was trying to, you know, really contain my reaction, because I didn't have the energy, honestly, to give that type of reaction, on firing back on something to say, or whatever the case may be. It actually took a lot of energy out of me, you know, doing that. And that's why I'm very, 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 very particular with who I let around me, because it's but so much I could take, and it's but so much a person could take. You know, it's not about being good. It's not about being bad. It's about being straight up and real with yourself. What are you allowing in your circle? What are you allowing in your environment? What kind of vibes are you welcoming? You know, is it the confusing vibe? So when you start speaking to somebody, then they confuse? Or when you leave from a person, you feel confused because they got so much confused thoughts going on in them? Or you start feeling insecure because that person is insecure? You know, or you start feeling worried because that person is worried? Or you got a problem, or they got a problem? Listen to their problem. Now the problem is yours. You know, it's a lot of things, like, you know, that you have to deal with, that you could say no to, or you could just back up from. You know, and just be real with yourself and honest with yourself, because that's one of the things that I feel like a lot of people are not honest with themselves, and telling themselves what it is that they don't want to be around, and what they do want to be around, because they're afraid to speak up. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I'm gonna speak the fuck up. That's just me. That's Piff Posh. That ass. I'm gonna speak up. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm not saying that I don't care about people's feelings. I'm very cognizant of people's feelings, but I am not gonna feel displaced because you want me to feel displaced. You know what I'm saying? If anyone is displaced, then everyone should have a conversation about it and talk about it like normal human beings, adults. You know, and if you're not around people who can't have a normal conversation with you because they're so childish, then you gotta let them go. You know, and I'm not saying let them go like, oh, you can't be their friend. No, maybe right then and there you could just be like, you know what, I ain't talking to you right now. Or catch me later. Just end that. That it. You know, so that was my experience today. Thanks to the lady on in the post office. Shout out to her. She made me feel real good. I made her feel good too, because she had some blessings. I could tell she wanted to go and go. She had me at that window for like 15, 20 minutes, and people was on the line. You know, in New York, they be like, hurry up. But she was really nice, and I'm so happy that she blessed me with that, and I blessed her with some blessings as well too. That's why I'm giving out blessings, because I want all my blessings. I can't afford to be fucking up because you want to stop my blessings. And I ain't saying you in particular, just anybody out there. And you should be saying the same for yourself. If you want your blessings, please don't engage. Disengage when they come in with the negative vibes. Disengage. I'm so serious. Disengage. Okay? So that's what I'm talking about today, guys. You know, this is definitely a story time. Maybe we'll have some more story time. Let me know how you feel in the comments about what I spoke about. Let me know how you feel about whatever it is that you want to talk about, or what's the next topic that we should talk about. But definitely disengage, and definitely don't give up. Definitely get up and get yourself together. Prepare the night before if you have to. Take that bath the night before. Lay out your clothes, lay out the shoes, lay out everything like it's the first day of school, going back to school, and prepare yourself to do what you got to do the next day. Don't ever stop and feel like you failed and you can't do it again. That's not the purpose of life. If everybody failed at something, we wouldn't have all these buildings and all these cars and technology if everyone felt like, oh, I failed, I'm done. No, keep going. Keep going. Jay-Z said it. I know I'm always referring to him, but he's such a very, person that I look up to with the way that he does business. Like, he just straight business. Straight business. No messing around, straight business. I think that we should do the same thing. I know I'm doing the same thing, and I'm spreading it for everybody else to please try to do the same thing as well, because it's not easy, but make sure you look out for the, people that don't want to see you be happy. There's people out there like that. Yeah, it is. But, nip that shit in the butt. Like, I ain't dealing with that. All right? So, guys, I'm going. I am tired. I'm hungry. And I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.